Alright, so, hey everyone, this is my speedrun of Barbie, Princess and the Pauper. I never know how to pronounce that word, sorry. I'm gonna lower the sound because this is post commentary, so because I'm not good at commenting while I'm running. So this run is mainly gonna start. Wait, let me just do that again because I didn't click on starting the game. So this is gonna be timed, of course. So I'm just gonna hit start as soon as I launch the save file. Alright, so the file started. Now I'm gonna explain the rules. It starts as soon as you launch the save file, and it ends when you finish the very last mission. So this is the introduction, which means nothing's really going on. We just need to make sure to talk to Anneliese as soon as she gets at the end, and I failed that, as you can see. Then we get the flowers, place them in the vase, and that's the introduction. I'm gonna hit time as soon as we start the next mission to get to the first mission. You're gonna notice quite often that we warp, just like what we just did right now. We use the library to warp Erica closer to the place we want to get, because walking animations are very, very slow in this game. So here I missed the cat. That's kind of, I'm not sure whether that's RNG or not, but it does happen to, like, if the cat doesn't follow you for some reason. So that's why you need to, like, sing constantly. I've tried manipulating RNG for which cake the kitten likes, but that never, like, I can never manipulate RNG like that. You can't, like, name your save file a specific name for the cat to like something every time, so that's kind of sad. I have a bunch of notes to see like what I'm supposed to talk about, because I want to keep commentary fluid throughout the entire run for it to be entertaining in some way. So that's time. So that one's interesting because you're supposed to go right to ask a guy about the color of a book, so you know which key to use. But we're just going to completely skip that because you can get the keys anyway. So it's generally green or purple. It's mostly been green or purple for me, which is why I go for green. That's a guess though, so I'm going to go for purple, and if it doesn't work the second time, I generally like just reset the run. But I was quite lucky this time, so I got it on second try. That's 1 in 5. So I'm quite happy that there aren't more like this. There's only one other key skip in the entire game. So if you miss it, it's not that bad. It's not that much of a time loss, which is okay. So now this is the flowers, and that minigame is quite fun because the good thing about it is that you don't actually have to plant flowers everywhere. You can just do it in the same spot. And I'm choosing bottom right because that will minimize the time it takes to put the flowers in each pot. That saves about, I guess you could say, 5 seconds in total if you put it like bottom left or something. So then we just place the flowers in the garden, and you're going to notice me again go in the room and back out so that we can spawn closer to the place we want to do. Alright, putting the flowers in the pot is kind of tedious because there aren't button controls. You have to do everything with the mouse except walking, which can be done with your arrow keys. Alright. Stained glass script error 1 is the name of that split, and I think there's no better way to explain it, and I'm going to start explaining it now because it's kind of long to explain. There's this thing in the game where every time you go in a room, it kind of has to load the possible animations that can go off, and if you do something fast enough, well, specifically if you complete the mission fast enough, well, we'll get to that in one moment, but you'll see what happens when we complete the mission as soon as we enter a room. However, just to get to that stained glass, I want to place them like in the corner. I think I moved them time lost, but whatever, so that we can place the moons like instantly, because otherwise you have to move the moons on all on the right, and that loses a bit of time. So yeah, that's more or less the optimal way of placing it, and you have no obligation of placing colors on it, which is quite practical. So then I try to get a script error, which is what I said I'd do, place it as soon as possible, but I missed it here, so. But you can skip this. All of this dialogue, you can skip it if you get the script error. It just passes to the next mission. I'm not sure if OBS Studio is updating in real time. I hope it is. So okay, this is the apples, and you're gonna notice the first log skip, which is probably the skip that saves the most time in the entire game, which is if you exit as soon as you finish the logs, as you can see here, you're actually gonna hit the checkpoint to say that you finished placing the logs, but it will put in a status animation that you can quit to the last area. And if you quit to the last area and come back instantly, you're actually skipping the entire animation of going over the logs, because you can just go to the next room without her crossing. So that saves a lot of time, not because it saves time like on a single time, but you do that say 7-8 times in the entire run, and that skip 8 times makes quite a lot of time. And also, yeah, if you didn't notice, we skipped her talking over the introduction of the apples minigame. So normally she presents the minigame, but we skipped that. Alright, so we do the log skip again now. And now we're going to try giving the apples to the fruit seller. And if you can maybe see my mouse with like the apples on them, is on the very edge of the screen, because we're going to spam and try to click as soon as he's on screen. So that looks a bit weird, but she can technically give him the apples from all over there, which is quite cool. And we're gonna use that exact trick for the trade that's coming up now. So we're gonna give the apples to the I forgot how you call the people who do that with horseshoes, but this guy. So we give him the apples. We're gonna have to give the horseshoe to the guy in the red suit. I forget what his name is, with the white hair. I'm gonna try to see if I have anything else to say. Oh yeah, if ever you notice me clicking over the missions, like the scroll, that's not because I forget the mission. It's because that's what you need to do if you want to skip dialogue. So that's always practical. Sorry about that sound, by the way. That was my artwork. Alright, the cake. Cake ingredients with weights always are in thirds, halves, or full integers of what a weight is. So say if you needed one weight, each click will give you a third, half, or a full weight, and it will always be the same. So say if sugar gives you a half, it will be a half for every single click. So if you know that you need 3 weights, you'll click 6 times, and you can just click that as fast as possible and it will still register, and you don't have to put any weights. So that saves a lot of time if you know the trick, or I guess if you know that that's not important, because as a child I played this game, and yeah, well, I used to put the weights every single time. Alright, so now we're going to give the cake to the miner, and the thing that's funny about this is that it gives a weird interaction where you can give him the cake and it won't trigger the next mission. It will only trigger the next mission. No, actually the mission was already triggered, so when you give him the cake, I don't do it right now because I guess I forgot, but you can enter the mine, come back, and as you see, I'm trying to click on the scroll to skip his dialogue, but that's not working because I didn't actually enter the mine. So when you enter the mine, you don't get the code, but you need to talk to the miner and then hit the scroll to get the mine. to get the code. So that was confusing. I was trying to understand what I was saying. So if you enter the mine and then come back, the mission will have started in its code in a certain way. So you can talk to the miner again to get the code, but this time you can skip his dialogue with code to get the code. God, I can't talk, I'm sorry. For anyone who had to like try and understand that. Alright, so in order, I'm gonna go in like the most optimal way, which I kind of got through trial and error, and that one is which I didn't.
Hello there. Look, the step.
Yeah, I missed the split right there, so that's kind of sad. Like the split was 20 seconds earlier.
Hello there.
So yeah, the routes are generally optimized through trial and error. This one is the one that works with like saving the most time. And the thing that's good about it is that if you do it specifically in the order I'm doing it on screen, and in that specific path, you're gonna end up in like the area with the woodsmen, and that's gonna help us out with the next mission because Erica actually stays in the same area for that next mission also, and that's gonna be quite practical because we're gonna need to be in that area to start the next mission in optimum, you know.
How kind of the miner to think of me. Now, I don't have to burn any of my wood.
It was wonderful to help so many people in the kingdom.
Alright. It's a lot simpler to like talk in post commentary than do it like talk and play the game at the same time. I never noticed it was that hard. If you're just saying a bunch of random things, it's okay, but if you're describing like, the actual things you're doing in game, that didn't work out so well. First time I got a 43-minute run, and this one is 35, so yeah. Alright, so as you notice, we had the woodsman, did a log skip, and now we're gonna help this person right here.
When I put down the horseshoe, hammer it quickly before it
So
comes down.
the good way to know if you're doing the minigame right is to check, like the game runs at, I can't really tell, but I guess about 20 frames per second. So you just try to get it in an animation that's going to be more or less 20 frames per second. And that means you're doing it at the right speed. See, like as you can see here, I'm moving really slow. That means that would not be the right speed. This is a bit too fast, and I'm not really good at making that one the right speed. I mean, I don't think it matters for this one and the previous one, but it does matter for the sewing. I guess it's not sewing, but you know, the next one. So I just go mad on that one.
Thanks for the help.
Yeah, so I thought you could just click on it and she'd walk up to it, but she didn't, so that's why she stopped right there. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm not really looking at where my mouse is, I'm just looking at Erica and trying to get the animation at the speed that the game is running, let's say, all the other animations. So I'm going to look at my script to see if I have anything to say.
Great job! We're halfway through the Book of Royalty. Let's get back to the castle.
Alright, so
and help Anneliese
like
with the
Erica
decorations
just said,
so
we're about
everyone can
halfway
enjoy
through the
them.
run. And now we have to go
Queen takes care.
fetch the cat in the mine, I think. Yeah, it's there. So yeah, I forgot to split right there, but like I was 5 seconds off, so you get the idea. So you don't actually have to talk to the god to like go clean the cat and play with it. So we're just gonna sing to get the cat. The cat always seems to be in the same place here though. And I got bad RNG again. I think that's RNG because I genuinely feel like I do that the same way every time. The thing that's funny is that every time you sing, it resets the animation of the cat and Erica, so they just look very weird. Alright, so now you can just go clean the cat. I was trying to like click on the singing button, but I was about to leave, so I didn't want to misclick. That's why it took a bit more time.
Click the bowl to pick it up.
I got lucky with the food this time, and quite lucky with this one also. I just didn't get lucky with that. There was that one time in my previous run where there was that one cat, and I think that was that exact cat, sorry, not cat, the exact cat that I got like every single 1 out of 3 on the first try. So that's a 1 in
Oh,
27, which is not
so
bad.
much. My kitten is back safe and sound.
The guard is so happy now that he has his kitten back. Now he won't be alone when he's on duty. I wonder if Preminger needs a cat.
Alright,
A
so she
queen.
just kind of foreshadowed because we're gonna have to like give a cat to someone at some point. But right now we're just gonna help out with the fountain. So I'm coming on the left because that saves time. So if you do the stay in the window, it saves a tiny bit of time if you do it first.
We need to design the window.
We're gonna do exactly the same one because that's the
Tiles to make it
fastest one to make. Before I used to put the suns on the left hand side and the moons on the right, but this is actually quite faster. I've been doing it since like the last run. So now we're gonna make the flowers in the same way by spawning in the right place.
plant a flower. Now we need to water the seeds.
Oh yeah, and you don't have to like put many seeds. You just put one, click once, and
Then click over the seeds
and it's
to
fine.
water them. I think these are ready to be picked.
So you can't.
Pick a
I
flower.
never managed how to like cut the flowers instantly. They have to fade in entirely, otherwise it doesn't work. I misclicked here, by the way. I just I wanted to move left, and I guess I should use the arrows a lot more than I do. Yeah, so place the flowers first, then the stained glass, and then make the wheels turn.
Those match perfectly.
Yeah, if Erica says those match perfectly while
Now
you're
the fountain
spinning
is
them,
decorated.
that means you can just keep doing what you're doing. If ever you have a doubt on where the colors go, because they seem to be random every time.
Now let's look at that scroll again. A queen.
Alright, now we need to make cakes for everyone in the kingdom, and by everyone I mean not that many people, so you have to know exactly who. Yeah, to come back on the cakes, this is a free for every single one, so I just hit it 9 times.
Wait to see how yummy our cake
This
turns
one is a
out.
free also, and then it's just ingredients
Our cake is
around.
going to taste wonderful. You follow
Good, and again, you don't have to put any icing on it, obviously, so... There's one cake to give to this girl right there. She barely is on screen, but we can still give it
Would
to
you
her.
like one of my delicious cakes?
Oh yeah, and you can't skip this animation, also.
This looks very good.
You can
Thank you.
leave the area while it's playing, and I do that later without doing on purpose, so... Yeah, don't do that, because that doesn't actually give them the cake. Like, note to self, never do that again.
Would
That
you like
loses
one of
time.
my delicious cakes?
Why, thank you.
Why, thank you. So,
Click on the
you know
log
how
to
it
turn
skips a
around.
bit of time if you like go in an area to, oh yeah, also I didn't skip this animation because I think it looks funny every time she has like 2 available paths. I guess I was just laughing at it and forgot to skip, but whatever, that doesn't save that much on one time. It's as long as you do it most of the time. So yeah, you know it saves a bit of time if you enter a new zone and leave out of it to like spawn in the right place. Well, we're gonna do that, but we are going to save even more time because we're gonna give it to someone on the way. You're gonna see that right away.
Turn it around and make a path. Those logs, fantastic. Are you sure you want to leave?
Alright, good. So now we want to spawn closer to the mines, but at the same time we want to spawn closer to the castle so we can give it to this guy. So this is actually helping us out on 2
Would you
parts.
like one of my delicious cakes?
We give it to this guy, and now we're closer to the mines, so we just saved even more time on that one, which is, I don't know, I think it's neat because it's quite a good path. then I don't think you stay in this place. I think you like respawn somewhere else. Also, yeah, I got practically pixel perfect
You're a very kind young lady,
one.
and I thank you.
Yeah, he's like on the edge of the screen right now, so
To
that's
give
good.
special treats to everyone. They deserve them for working so hard. We should serve these at the coronation.
Alright,
A queen.
so this is helping the fruit seller to get his banner. Also, yeah, I gave numbers to each scroll in my splits. I'm not sure that's these are the exact numbers of each scroll. I hope they are. They might not be.
Perfect fit.
Alright, she just says perfect fit whenever it's not there.
Those are great. Now, are you sure? Look,
There is one log skip that you can't actually do later in the game, or in the next next mission. Well, not the next mission, but the mission after that. So you have to be sure that like you don't have to be sure of anything because you know it's RNG, but you have to hope, I guess, that the path it's going to generate for you is as straight as possible, because the straighter it is and the least time you'll spend walking on the logs, so the animation won't be as long.
are you sure you
For example, like, if you compare this one and the last one, that one's a lot shorter in terms of time.
This is the fabric store where we can make wonderful flags for the king.
Alright, I think I miss that banner at some point where I placed the last one. Yeah, that's right. So that lost a tiny bit of time, but well, whatever. Alright, so yeah, you can place the banner by giving it to the fruit seller, and then you can skip out of his dialogue by clicking on the scroll.
Perfect. Now that we have the frame, wait a second.
So yeah, you can place the banner immediately by giving it to him.
Oh, it's perfect. Folks will come from miles around to buy my fruit.
So as you can tell, each mission takes about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes.
Miles around. Let's go see if Anneliese is doing as well as we are with the decorations.
Yeah, and we're just going to skip through Anneliese's decorations because these are not necessary, and there would be no way to measure like if you manage them in a run or not, like what counts as, you know, managing it. So this is the second key skip, and I was recording this while talking to my girlfriend. I just said, what if it's yellow for once? And it actually was yellow on first try, so that's like a miracle. It's generally like red the second time for me, but I know it's like pure random, you know, so yeah, that was a good run, and that was my second run of the week because I only did like 2 runs. Yeah, also looking back on this, I should have kept going right because I just have to come back left anyway, but well. So yeah, I got that key skip first try, and that's annoying because I genuinely don't even know where the guy you have to ask for the color is, but I don't think I don't think he's nearby, sorry. So that would be annoying if you had to ask him for the color.
First, we need to design the window.
I think it would literally take less time to guess every single key than to like just ask. But either way, we got it first try, so that's good. And as you can tell, we're making a stained window, so it means that we need to give the stained window somewhere, place it down somewhere. And we actually need to place it down in the library, which means that we are going to have time to attempt the script error. And as you can tell right now, we got it. So that just skips the entire dialogue, which is just as long as the first one that we didn't actually manage to skip. So yeah, this run can definitely be optimized if you get the second stained glass script error, sorry. Because that like saves, I don't know, 20 seconds. 20 seconds is not negligible on a run.
Sing to lead the kitten to follow.
Sing to the kitten to follow, follow me. Alright, so yeah, I forgot to split. That's the word I was looking for.
Click on a log to turn it around and make a
Yeah, the thing that's funny about that is that the kitten won't always follow you
perfect fit.
if you do this and quit out. I think you need to sing, and I didn't sing there, so the kitten doesn't follow me. So that stressed me out, and I was like, wait, where'd the kitten go? And the kitten somehow teleports to the woodman, I guess. So that's new. I didn't know that was a thing that the kitten would do, but you know, that's another time save, so why not? But a time loss because I didn't know it was, but for the next runs, a time save, and for anyone who wants to attempt
what a
the
cute
speedrun, a
little
time save.
kitten. Now I'll have someone to keep me company.
The woodsman and the kitten look so happy
Yeah,
together.
there's
I think
some
they'll be a
skip,
perfect match.
some kind of skip
A
in
clean
every single
house.
mission, which is, I don't know, it's just fun. And the fact that you can optimize every single path you take also.
Click on a log to turn it around and make a
Yeah, so that was a lucky
Great.
run because
Now
that
we can
just,
get- Are you sure you want some
a
meat?
lot of dogs would just spawn instantly in the right place, or almost in the right place,
Look, the path.
and that's cool.
Copy the picture on who need to copy the design.
Alright, so for the banners, there is a specific order that is more optimal than the others also. And that would be, so well, you're gonna see that right now. Actually. So we're going right, as you can tell. I made a mistake because that's quite confusing. It's actually faster to go right here because you avoid having to do the
Solve the puzzle on the flagpole by turning the wheels, then hang the flag. We've solved the puzzle.
no wait, you don't avoid doing the log minigame, you have to do it again. It's just I think it's faster because otherwise you'd have to come back to do the banner that's near the woodsman. So instead of doing closed loop, you would, well, I didn't because I'm bad, but you would skip walking through the village from the woodsman, which actually does take time. And if you see me pause whenever I like turn the wheels, it's because I'm genuinely shocked at how effortless it is, because on some runs you have to spin every single wheel like 3 times, and I just get them instantly on every single one. Like I just turned 2 wheels. That's just stupid. Okay, so that order is quite optimal because as you could see, like that took no time. That took like 2 minutes to do the mission. It would take you 3 if you had to do the whole loop again, because walking again is really slow. Like even if you skip. Yeah, so I just missed that one, but whatever. Yeah, like even if you can skip some parts of the game by like entering a room, coming back out, and so on, it still loses a lot of time if you have to do the loop again. Alright, so that's almost the last mission. And when I say almost the last mission, I mean like singing. I know that that's not related and that that's like not something you can guess, but the singing part is a part you're gonna dread because it's just the singing, you know, you'll see it when it comes. So last run I tried talking to the singers without making the flowers, and that's not actually a thing you can do. So you have to talk to this guy. So I remembered his first try because he took me a while last time, so that one annoyed me and it took me a while. But I mess up the 2 other ones, I think, so they have to go through the animation again. But obviously it's faster if you get the singing first try.
I'd be honored to sing for you, Your Majesty.
Oh yeah, and this glitch where his mouth just leaves. That's if you keep walking towards the exit, that just happens for some reason. I don't really know why. Alright, so she has the fact that she started singing. So yeah, you can't skip any of these animations, or if you can, the few times I have skipped the animation, the game just crashed, so yeah.
Would you like to sing in the town concert?
The game crashes a lot, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious enough.
Concert, Lady Erica.
The game can
I'll go over to
crash
the bottom
if you're
now.
cutting the wood for the banner and try to exit. The game can crash if you open a book with a key too fast. The game can crash if you enter a room and talk to someone too fast. The game can crash for basically anything you do if you do it too fast.
Click on a log to turn it around and make a
And that's not fun when you're half an hour through the run and the game crashes on you. Like, the run's not over because it saves every mission. But you know, you still have to do the whole mission again, so we've already been on this one for like 2 minutes and a half. That one takes about 3.5, because that one's a long one. So my run is on pace for being 10 minutes faster than the last one, because my last run was 43 minutes, something like that.
Would you like to sing in the town concert? What a beautiful flower! I'd love to sing in the concert. I'll be waiting in town for you. Now that
Alright, so now we need to walk to town. There's no like talking to anyone or whatever, you just have to walk until you reach them. And they're in this like creepy pose where they're like, just do it, you know, but just do it middle-aged style. And yeah. Yeah, that's more than 3 people singing. I mean, if you know 3 people who are able to sing this every note and all, give them a clap and a half from me, because yeah.
those singers have such beautiful voices. If we can get them to sing at the coronation, they would fill it with beautiful
Like
music.
if that's more than 3 voices, that means that one of these people is
A queen.
more than one person, is more than one voice. So you know that's what I count as creepy singing. Alright, so she gives us a piece of fabric. So we're gonna give the piece of fabric to the girl in the fabric store, and she's going to give us information,
Let's give this
which I think that's just that a log is missing. So then the guy gives you like a log, and
I'm sorry, Lady
that lets you
Erica.
get tools for the
I'm here to give
miner,
all the help I can.
and the miner will use the tools for digging up the key, which ends the game. So yeah, by the way, I forgot to split, sorry about that.
I've been learning to juggle, but it's
Like my splits are more for me, you know, to think like what
click on a log to turn it
takes
around
time
and make a path.
and everything, because you can just do it, you know.
Great. Now
Oh yeah, and this is part of the logs we can't skip. So as you can see, that takes quite some time whenever she has to move side to side. But yeah, I mean, the reason I'm really making the splits is for the final time, because that's what I'm gonna like be able to base myself off of for speedrun.com.
we can use the log
Oh yeah,
as
we
a
can skip
working
that dialogue also. Yeah, the like little splits with like helping the villagers, God's cat, all that stuff. That's just for me, you know, to know where I can improve.
Fantastic job. Now we can walk across.
Because I guess, you know, you can just put it in your editor or whatever and just look on YouTube and check how much time one specific split actually took, and that's fine. So now there's one thing I forget to do, and that's kind of time consuming, is I forgot to go get the apples, go get the cake. So I could have like warped, and it would have saved time on just the warp alone, and I would have got the cake on top of that, so that would have saved like 5 seconds. I think 5 minutes can easily be shaved off of this by getting the glitches right and not messing up the other skips. So I definitely messed up quite a lot of them. So yeah, this one is on pace for being 35 minutes. I just need to not mess up this last split, because that's not really a split, that's just the end of the game. So the end of the game happens as soon as the final cutscene triggers, which I'm not going to say like after the final cutscene or before the final cutscene. That makes no difference, because it's like it's half a second and you're out of it because you just click and it ends it. So yeah, this key opens a door which triggers the final cutscene. So from the mines it takes like 30 seconds to get there. Alright. So wait for her to actually trigger the cutscene, not right now, then you know.
Let's see what's beyond the gate.
And time. Alright, that's a 34:44, that's not bad.
Want to leave?
That's not bad at all. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed the speedrun and enjoyed my explanations. It's actually a lot more fun than it seemed at first. At first it was kind of a joke, but there are a lot of skips to do and it's actually enjoyable. Like I don't mind speedrunning this, you know, because every time you have like new RNG and a new skip that you're gonna miss, and I guess honestly if you're doing enough stupid things while you're playing, you're gonna find another glitch, like some of a script error somewhere else. I'm sure that's not the only one you can get. I know the stained glass one I found it by accident, and log skip I found by accident because I actually did that without doing it on purpose while I was streaming the game to a friend to, like, you know, show, hey, what if I speedrun this? And I already thought of speedrunning it at the time, but when I just did that on accident, I thought I softlocked the game, which happens quite often because like if you enter the key in a book too fast, for example, it will softlock the game because you can't move anymore and you can't you have no key in your inventory and the music just cuts and Erica just reminds you eventually, hey, you know, we need the key. So yeah, I thought I was in a position like that because Erica was on the logs and not moving, and then I noticed that the pink arrows to change area were still there, and that's how I discovered the skip. As for the stained window, that was like literally yesterday. I entered it too fast, it said script error, and I was like, did the game crash? And it just said, do you want to continue, you know, so, because it's a Windows error. So do you want to continue? And if you say yes, it just keeps playing the game without showing the victory animation, so yeah. Alright guys, I guess I'll see you whenever I make a run again, and guys is probably not the right term because I have 0 audience, so that's going to be for whoever watches speedrun.com in the Barbie categories, so hello to you.